Josh.
From what you saw since the beginning of the training camp everywhere in the league and a bit during the last playoff, do you expect that the NHL will be more physical than ever this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to, wait out and see. Obviously, watching last night's game was pretty physical, but I guess it depends on the game and what guys bring each and every night. But I kind of expect it to be, you're still playing hockey out there and trying to win games. So yeah.
When you look at your own team, Josh, you feel comfortable that the Montreal Canadiens could fit or react against a team who wants to play that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have to be honest. Yeah, there's every team out there is going to be pushing the physicality and not only with their skill, but I think we're going to have to match that and obviously bring a little bit more momentum and physicalness to the game this year and be consistent with that.
Apart from the fact that everybody's a year older, the kids will show
a step in the right direction and develop as a group and it's all about winning hockey games and we're going to try to do that one day at a time and focus on today and then tomorrow and go from there.
Marty talked a lot about accountability, responsibility, and that kind of making the transition this year. Within the room itself, which he doesn't spend a lot of time in, you guys have a lot of guys to keep each other accountable. Obviously, you get along great, but is there a willingness to kind of be real about things when they're not the way they should be?
I think that's going to be, really important for our group this year is accountability. To be honest with you, when somebody doesn't have it one night, can a guy step up and let him know, or can he change his game a little bit to help the team win hockey games? At the end of the day, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how you did. And if each guy steps up and plays the way he knows he's able to play, we're going to be in a good position every night.
Josh, we've seen you have success with Alex Newhook so far in this training camp. We heard you before and Marty since he came over trying to talk about the fact that you need to use your speed differently and think a bit more on the ice. Would you say that Newhook coming in allows you to be more yourself and maybe think less because he has kind of the same speed as you have on the ice?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, he's very quick. I was pretty comfortable playing with him in the scrimmages there, and obviously the first exhibition game as well. But he brings a lot of speed. Obviously that's one of my biggest assets as a player is my speed, and for me able to catch up to him catch up to me. I think we worked really well together. But as you can see, he can fly like the wind out there.
What do you see that evolution in your game going? And Marty's obviously talked to you a lot about it last season, and I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, you did start to make some adjustments as the season went along last year. What do you think is the next step for you in that?
Knowing when I can use my speed and when I can't. If I can't beat a guy, am I trying to still beat the guy, or am I going to pull up or use the width of the ice? It's all game situations, and you got to make that read as a player. But obviously, I'm still learning. I talk to Marty a lot, and still trying to work on that part of the game and make better plays and reads too.
Is a game against the Leafs always special, even though it's a preseason game?
Yeah. Obviously, it's an easy game to get up for, no matter if it's exhibition or regular season playoffs. It's always an exciting time. A lot of family, friends watching the game, so I'm sure it'll be the same thing.
They had some grit and sandpapers during the summer. What do you expect from the Leafs this season?
Yeah, like you said, probably a little bit more physical, adding those key pieces to their team. There's not going to be any easy games each and every night, no matter who you're playing, and everyone's adding guys to the lineup, and obviously young guys are growing into this league, so there's going to be no easy games.
Josh, look, you're obviously a physical player. You like going to the net. So if the game is more physical this season, how will that benefit you? I know Monday night it's only one game, but you were the dominant player on this team Monday night. You just seem poised like you're going to have a great season.
Yeah, I mean, you expect to come in each and every game and be as physical as you can. You know, personally for myself, obviously it's going to be a big year. I want to keep producing and keep getting better each and every day. And like I said earlier, I'm still learning. I might be an older guy, but there's still lots to learn and develop in my game. So I'm going to keep continuing to do that.
What are you going to do when you play Tampa and see Sergachev? Anything in particular?
So the time will come for that.
Basically, every year at camp, Jake Evans goes under the radar, but still throughout the season ends up playing pretty tough minutes. Where do you see what role do you see him having in your team this year?
Yeah, Jakey brings a lot of energy to our team. No matter who we're playing, each and every night. I feel like he's very consistent in the way he plays, and he doesn't take a night off. And that pushes other guys, not just younger guys, but older guys too. And when you can follow that up, it just makes your team better.
Marty, on many occasions, mentions that he doesn't want to give too much too quickly to the guys, not overload you guys with information. In your own way of trying to get better, has there been instances where you felt like it was too much to digest at once, or how's it been to integrate the concepts that Marty wants to teach you?
Not really, to be honest. Maybe at the very beginning when he first came in, there was a lot of teaching and going over video, but I think we're used to that. We're all trying to get better as players and play that team game that we need to do to win hockey games, and I think everybody in our locker rooms learning each and every day. And when players come up with new ideas, Marty comes up with new ideas. It's great to discuss and practice them and execute them to be ready to go in a game.
Marty uses the term width of the ice a lot. It's funny to hear you say that. It's specifically to your game, what is incorporating the width of the ice to your game mean, like tangibly for you?
Well, depends. Like I talked before, if the speed's there, use it. If it's not, then look for another option or maybe turn up. I don't know. It's the game's so fast nowadays that you got to be able to make that read as a player and use your other line mates, to create offense. And I think a really important piece is when you don't have the puck too, like where are you going to help out your line mates and things like that.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Michael, I'll go first. Obviously, the physical aspect of the game comes up when we see a game like what happened last night. How much do you want to make sure that you make sure your role is important to this team and you want to bring it every night, knowing all the physicality that's coming in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a physical game. Last night was a physical game, and I think for me, it's everyone knows how I play, and they know that I can play that kind of game. And for me, it's just showing that I can contribute in other ways and play solid hockey, and that's what's going to keep me around. And obviously, continue to play my style of game, play hard, be physical, be hard to play against every night. So for me, it's continuing to do that and just adding the little elements to my game. That's what I'm trying to show.
Sorry. Was it difficult yesterday for you to not play the game?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those games where you get excited, like you definitely want it to be a part of a hard game. Those are competitive and they're fun to play. So yeah, definitely when you're watching up there, you're getting a little shaky because you want to go out there and play. But I think that's really any competitor when you see a game that's hard, you want to go out there and you want to help your teammates.
You talk about growing your game. To what extent do you feel Marty helped you in that aspect?
Yeah, I think he's helped me a lot. Just making me feel like he believes in me, and then kind of giving me an avenue to push the boundaries of what I can do. So I think he's allowed me to get out of my comfort zone and kind of open up my box to where it is now and to continue to keep growing that. So I think he's helped me a lot with that.
Is it dangerous to try to grow yourself as a player and maybe lose what made you make the NHL?
No, because I think for me it's growing myself as a player while maintaining what I do. It's never losing what I do. It's like that's a staple of my game. That's who I am as a person. That's who I am as a player. Like that's my foundation, right? So now it's building my foundation off of that and never losing that. So I think for me it's exactly that. Don't lose my foundation and then just build off of it.
What are some of the things you did specifically this summer regarding skill work? Anything you focused on that you feel can take your game to another level or have you contribute in other departments?
Definitely just working on my first touch. Everything on and off of the boards, that's something that I have to be very good at, whether it's in the D zone or in the offensive zone, just making sure that first touch is always in a place where it needs to be, and then I can kind of make a play from there. So that was something I worked on, and then just like extending. I mean, hopefully from that I'll be able to more comfortable extending O-zone time, extending plays with the puck on my stick. So those were kind of the main elements that I was focusing on.
You got some time on the penalty kill towards the end of last season, and it seems to be would be a good way for you to get into the lineup on a consistent basis. Is that something that you hope to expand on this year, and how would you do that?
Yeah, I think that's something that's extremely important for me and in growing my game. So whenever I get opportunities to play on the penalty kill, it's something that I take a lot of pride in and I want to be a part of. So for me, I guess it's just paying attention in practice when we're talking about the penalty kill, making sure that I really understand the system and understand what's going on. Obviously, I'm willing to get down there, block shots, do all that sort of stuff, but you have to understand the system, you have to be able to play it. So for me, it's just picking up notes on all of that so that when I do get my chances, I'm ready to go and I can show that I can play on the penalty kill and kind of get those extra minutes there.
This might sound silly, but are you able to make a request to play that?
I'm not sure you can do that, but I think it's something that the coaches know I want to play in the penalty kill, and they know that as my game develops, like for my role, it's something that I need to play on the penalty kill, or like it'll help me grow my game to play on the penalty kill. So I think everyone's aware of that. It's just waiting for that opportunity and just making sure I'm ready when I do get that chance.
Since the last time that we spoke to you, there was a few youngsters that shown that they're knocking at the door, almost ready for NHL action. How do you see the security of your role on the roster? I know that you bring elements of the game that not too many guys can bring, but at the same time, you cannot be comfortable in the situation you are.
Yeah, I'm never comfortable. I mean, even if I am in a position where it's like, hey, like I know I'm in a lineup spot and there's maybe everybody else is hurt and I'm still there, I'm still not comfortable. You know, that's just kind of the way I am. I'm always thinking that someone's trying to take my job or that I have to show everybody that I belong here. And I think that's something that's allowed me to get to where I am and something that's going to continue to push me forward. So in my head, it's always just keep pushing forward and never get complacent and never feel like I'm here to stay, right? Like it's like, I mean, I feel like I'm here to stay, but don't feel like I can take a day off, you know? Like it's like I have to work every single day to prove that I belong here, and then I think that's just a good mindset in general.
But do you feel that, at least in part, your contribution is depending also on the guys that are on your line, because there are different profiles of players, some might fit your style better than others, so do you feel as though it's, depending on who ends up on your line, your contribution might be different.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're playing on the fourth line, depending on how much you're playing and what's going on, the situations in the game, you have to kind of adjust your game accordingly. So I think for me, it's just being able to play with different line mates, and obviously some guys you're going to click with more than others, whether you're on the first line or the fourth line. There's line mates that you're going to be more comfortable playing with, and guys that for some reason you just gel more with. So I think it's just taking it one day at a time.
Excited tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm playing tomorrow, and if not, probably Saturday's game. But yeah, definitely excited. It's always fun to play Toronto, so it should be a good game.
The three next game will be against the Leafs, even though if it's in preseason. Is there another occasion to build the rivalry again?
Yeah, I mean,
Chapter, the Rose.
Montreal, Toronto is always rivalry there, and it's always fun playing those games. Obviously, they have a good hockey team, so it's exciting to see who they're going to play in these upcoming games and kind of just build your game. And it's a good challenge for myself and for us as a team. So it's always exciting to play those games.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
So I was wondering, there's a lot of young players that are knocking at the door and that are showing that they're at least close to being ready to earn a spot. Where do you see your own situation in trying to maintain a spot in Montreal right now?
Well, I think my goal is obviously to stay in the NHL for the whole season, and like last year I got a lot more games than in the previous season. So I think I want to build on that and take all the good things from there and trying to get better, so I could get some more games next year.
The extra weight that you put on, what has it enabled you to do so far? Where do you see the difference in your play?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't make that huge difference, but maybe in the battles I feel a little bit more confident than that. But like after all, it doesn't make that much difference.
How do you balance trying to make plays that will enable you to stand out versus trying to make the right play that this is the by the book kind of play in a training camp and when you're trying to make a team?
Well, I think that's the thing, like that you have to realize, like the situation, like where you can try to make plays and where you have like what kind of play you have to do at the right time, and sometimes you have to get just the pucks deep and play a more like defensive game, and it's all about the reading the play and managing the game.
At 23 years old, what kind of role, what kind of impact do you think you can have in the NHL this season?
Well, I think already last year I could play on that level, and I think I just wanna bring like the energy to the team, and I wanna like build like make scoring chances and like not just to play there, but actually to make some plays and play a little bit same style as I played in the Laval.
You feel confident about this offensive part of your game?
Yeah, I think so. Like you're supposed to get better every year, and if I do that, like compared to last year, I should be good.
You talk about being better every year. Since you came in North America, what do you feel are the elements that have grown the most in your game?
I think like I've got better on the like defensive side of the game, and like I think when you get more years in this league, like just by that you learn to do the right play at the right time, and I think just that.
Do you think that you reached the consistency that Marty, your coach, is looking for at this level?
Well, that's my goal. I don't know. I think I got better at it last year, but I think that's one of the things that I'm like really motivated to get better, and I want to show the coaches that they can trust me in all different situations, and I think that's the biggest challenge for me to like maintain like every night. Like you have to show that you belong in this league, and you can't really have any bad games.
Because of your contract situation, are you more, I want to say, concerned is not the right word, but more concerned about your future, your near future, because of your contract and the waiver situation if you're not in the 12 first forwards of this team after the training camp?
I don't know. I don't think it's the time to be concerned. I'm just focusing on showing what I can do in this camp, and like I don't think that's a good thing to think about right now.
Okay, but can you use that as a motivation?
Yeah, definitely.
You talk about being trusted in all situations. Last game you were used on the PK. Is that a window where you could prove your worth, to the coaching staff and earn a spot by showing that you can handle PK duties?
Yeah, I think that would be huge for me to learn to play PK too, because like previously when I played in the Europe and in the American Hockey League, like I've been more a power play guy, but like in the NHL level, it's really hard to be on the top two power play lines. So I think it would really help me to learn to play PK better, and I think that way I could also help the team more to win the games.
There are some guys who at lower levels were extremely productive, offensive-minded guys who, in order to have a career in the NHL, had to change their game sometimes to make it maybe more defensive or more well-rounded. Do you feel that you'll have to do that sort of adjustment, or you still think that there's your offense at some point will blossom and you'll be in the NHL specifically for offensive reasons?
Well, I think like maybe changing the way you play is not maybe the thing that I'm thinking about. It maybe like to keep the good things that I have in my game and then like add more more physicality for the battles and maybe play PK and learn to be good at that. I think that would like bring more areas to my game, and that would really help me personally, and maybe that way to also help the team. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bonjour.
How does it go so far for you?
I think it's been pretty good. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with it so far. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of it and got to keep building each day.
How do you see the battle of the blue line for you especially?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some spots there, a lot of young guys. Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to last year a little bit. But I mean, I think it's the same thing up front. It's going to be the same thing every year. There's always going to be guys that are battling for spots. So.
Hier, c'était un match avec de l'émotion avec les Sénateurs. Puis là, vous allez en jouer 3 contre les Leafs. Puis ça pourrait amener de l'émotion. C'est une meilleure situation quand on fight, quand on se bat pour un poste, de jouer des games où il pourrait avoir un peu plus d'émotion, d'après toi?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, we have a big rivalry with the Leafs. And yeah, it's preseason games, but like you saw last night and even last year in training camp, the games get, intense. And yeah, I definitely think it helps. I think not only for me, but I think that's kind of when most guys play their best hockey is, when the games are intense and fast-paced and, playoff-like hockey. So yeah, I think, it's a good thing for everyone.
Justin, you always get asked when you're a young player trying to make a team, how do you stand out? As a defenseman, though, how much value do you put on not standing out, on being a little unnoticed so that the defensive game is kind of what shines through?
Yeah, I think, my thing is, sometimes the games vary. Some games you're going to have more touches offensively. You just, feels like the puck's going to be on your stick more. So yeah, for me, it's, not trying to do too much and, just play my game and play to my strengths and, be good in the D zone, take care of the defensive zone first, and then, if there's opportunities, just jump up in the rush or contribute offensively. I love to do that as well. So.
Is it difficult during training camp to not take certain decisions personally when, for example, the coach will send another player in a situation where, hey, this should be me out there right now, and it's not. So because they just want to have a look at another guy, is it hard not to take it personally and say, well, is it about me or is it just about that other player?
No, I mean, I don't take those things personal. Obviously, it's training camp. Like you said, the coaches are trying to see different players in different situations. And yeah, you can only control what you can control. So, my job's to go out there in the situations they put me in and, prove that I can be an impact player in those situations.
When you talk about proving you can be a top player, what is the kind of message you want to send or the type of play you want to show on the ice to make sure that they notice you and they realize that you're ready and you can really make that step?
Yeah, I think for me it's defensively being harder to play against. I really want to show them I took that step defensively and, can play in, more situations like penalty kill and, D-zone face-offs. And, that's been my focus is really kind of dialing those things in.
T'es quand même un gars qui est assez costaud. Tu penses-tu qu'avoir une game simple ou plus simple va te rapprocher de ça? Est-ce que tu penses que c'est la clé?
Yeah, I mean, can you repeat that in English? Sorry.
Do you think that having a more simple game make you better defensively?
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, a lot of it I think can be instincts, you know, like just seeing the first pass or the first play you see, you know, making it, you know, getting cleaner exits and things like that. But at the same time, it's, you know, it's a fast game. There's lots of reads you can make. So, you know, sometimes it's holding on to the puck an extra second and maybe taking a hit or stuff like that. So I think generally I like to think my game's pretty simple and, you know, pretty effective. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's all reads in the game at the end of the day.
Do you think that it's the coach expect from you at that time? I mean, especially this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, they've expected me to be better defensively. You know, I think I've played enough games now where they kind of know my skill set and kind of what I can do. So, yeah, you know, like I said, for me, it's, you know, proving that I can, you know, be a good defenseman as well and, you know, play in all those defensive situations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Merci.
Hello, everyone.
Regarding what happened yesterday, do you expect that it will be more physical this year, Brendan, from what we saw during the finals? Do you expect that?
I mean, I think whenever we play Ottawa, it doesn't matter, preseason, regular season, playoffs, it's always like that. And, that rivalry has kind of been passed down from player to player, team to play, team to team. And, there's just a lot of, hatred between the two clubs, and that stuff comes out. I mean, you could kind of see, you see the lineup that they sent in the morning, and they sent that with a purpose. And it is what it is. But I thought our guys did a pretty good job of sticking up for each other, but doing what was important and working on our game and trying to win a hockey game.
Do you think that your team is enough comfortable to play that type of game against certain opponents?
I think everyone has to be comfortable regardless of who you are, and we'll protect each other, we'll stand up for each other, but everyone has to be comfortable. It's what hockey's all about. It's about, there is a little intimidation involved, there is physicality, and there is, a lot of compete and a lot of intensity, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to our game. So, everyone's grown up playing that style of hockey. It's nothing new, and that's just a part of the game you better get used to, and you better be able to handle if you want to play in this league for a long time.
There's a historical rivalry between Montreal and Toronto, but from your experience since you're in the league, what is on the ice the biggest rivalry, Ottawa or Toronto?
It's hard to say. I think there's three. I guess you throw Boston in there as well. There's the three that the fans bring a lot of intensity to the rivalry as well. I think in terms of competing on the ice, I've played all three teams in a playoff series, and it lingers. It just, for some reason with Ottawa, I think it probably comes out a little bit more. I think Toronto, the style they play, they probably try to get away from that and allow their top players to play a little bit more free. And Boston, they've changed a little bit. They're not the same team they were 5, 6, 7 years ago, where they were trying to be the bullies. I think they've changed a little bit. I think there's just different styles that teams bring, and it's intense with all three. There's a little tenacity, and it's just fun to be a part of. So it's hard to really pick one. You just know that when you go into those rivalry style games that it's going to be a fun one, but you better be ready to work and stick up for yourself, stick up for your teammates, and understand that it's a fun game to be in if you're playing the right way.
When you bring up Boston, I guess you're pretty excited to see Lucic again in a Boston Bruins jersey.
I get to see him all summer. My relationship in the summer is different with him than during the year, obviously. I think, I just think that's the right thing to happen. It's where he should be. As soon as he puts it on, he feels like himself, he looks like himself. But certainly for us, we know what type of player he is, and we know the toughness that he brings. So it seems like everyone in our division kind of went and added that, and Arbor probably is a big reason why. You look at what he did last preseason to make an impact, and a lot of that was against Ottawa, and a lot of that is why you saw what you saw last night. And I think that's the type of impact early on in his career that he's already had. He's regarded as one of the toughest guys in the league already, and I think every team around the division kind of went to add a guy, probably to help out, but he was probably a big part of it as well.
Jake Evans is now a veteran in this team, but it seems like every year at the camp he goes under the radar, and after that he gets to play a lot of tough minutes during the season. What does he bring concretely to your team year after year?
He plays a lot of hard minutes for us. He's not afraid to put his body on the line. He's not he's a guy that you can trust on the ice against the top players in the league. He takes important face-offs. He kills important penalties. He's a guy that there's tough situations throughout the game, and you can trust him to put him on the ice. So he plays an important role for sure. I think he's learning, and he's getting more and more comfortable in that role. And big part of our team. And I think he's looking forward to getting his preseason kick-started as well.
In North America, 2 more. Coach is coming. In North America, the World Championship is always getting less attention than the World Junior. You've been playing both. Justin Barron last year played at the World Championship and he won a gold medal. What's the value of playing for Team Canada in the world, and what do you think he can be a better D because of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really special experience. Obviously very happy for him and Monty going over there and winning a gold medal, but you spend time with some of the best players in the world. You pick their brains, you practice with them, you hang out, you have your fun, but there's a lot that you can learn from that experience, and different coaches, different way of thinking, and you can add it to your game, and yeah, it's just a different opportunity for players to go over there and continue to work on their game, grow their game, and I know JP had a very positive experience, so hopefully he carries it into the year.
Brendan, I know that you're going to play wherever you're asked, but a few days ago, Marty had this funny clip that made the rounds about guys fighting for chairs. Are you on a mission mentally to earn a certain chair?
You know what, I think I've never come into camp and felt comfortable. I've always felt confident, but I know every year, you're trying to prove yourself in a sense, and it doesn't matter who you are. So for me, I've kind of always had that mindset. Whether you're coming off a good season, a disappointing season, there's always people pushing for your spots, and there's spots to be pushed for, and internal competition is never a bad thing. So it's something that always brings out the best in us, and as a group, it's something you welcome, because the more that you have, the better team you have. So I think as players, you welcome it, and it usually brings out the best in us.
Thanks, Gally.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Le petit échantillon de la game hier, la game physique en général, quand tu analyses ton équipe, est-ce que tu sais que tu as une équipe qui va être confortable de jouer sa game, même si vos adversaires deviennent plus physiques, quand tu regardes ton tableau actuellement?
Ça fait partie de ça. Il faut t'amener de la robustesse, il faut t'amener du jam. Pas juste physiquement, mentalement. Puis c'est rien de nouveau, là. Ça fait partie de la game, puis c'est quelque chose que c'est pas la job de 1, 2, 3 gars, c'est une équipe. Faut qu'on joue avec un pack mentality. Puis si quelqu'un qui niaise avec un de nos gars, on est tous là-dedans.
On a parlé à Josh Anderson ce matin, puis évidemment, on a vu beaucoup de belles choses avec Alex Newhook. J'étais curieux de savoir si il y a une façon, parce qu'il y a beaucoup été question du fait qu'il devait des fois ralentir, voir la game différemment. Est-ce que de jouer avec un gars comme Newhook, ça peut peut-être le libérer mentalement parce que finalement, il y a quelqu'un qui va pas mal à la même vitesse que lui?
Non, je dis pas que c'est Newhook, c'est un excellent joueur de hockey, mais tu sais que Andy est capable de jouer avec bien d'autres joueurs. C'est de ne pas jouer dans le présent, puis comprendre la game qui s'en vient, qu'est-ce qui est en arrière et tout. Puis non, je trouve... Moi, qu'est-ce que je vois que Josh, il progresse, c'est le nombre d'échappées qu'il a. T'sais? Fait que ça, c'est du timing, c'est de la lecture de jeu, puis évidemment, son talent individuel avec sa vitesse.
Y avait-tu une ligne avec lui de lui donner quelque chose de plus dans sa game, mais sans y enlever sa passion, puis l'espèce de jeu train qu'il a de foncer, d'amener des choses dans sa game, mais sans y enlever la passion qu'il a, puis l'espèce de
j'ai rien
train
enlevé,
qui patine en
j'ai
avant.
rien enlevé dans sa game. C'est des discussions qu'on a pour l'aider à gérer où ce qu'il va sur la glace.
Martin, Ylönen a 23 ans, il a souvent démontré dans le passé qu'il pouvait produire. Quel genre de chaise tu vois ce gars-là avoir à l'interne? Puis qu'est-ce que tu aimes de son jeu?
Je sais pas encore, mais je trouve qu'il se rapproche beaucoup d'être un joueur de la nationale.
Je te demanderai pas quelle chaise il va avoir, mais Jake Evans, on parle pas du tout de lui dans ce camp-là. Il a quand même pris l'année passée aussi l'importance qu'il y a eu pour les mises aux joueurs défensives, les missions défensives. Quel rôle tu vois avoir cette année ou quelle importance il y a encore pour ton équipe?
C'est un gars qui nous amène de la profondeur, qui tue des punitions, qui est bon au face-off. Puis je sais qu'il est capable d'en donner plus offensivement, puis il serait le premier à dire ça. C'est de continuer à essayer de progresser comme joueur, mais c'est un gars qui joue des minutes importantes là, du côté défensif de la game, surtout en désavantage, puis des zones face-off. Fait que Non, c'est de continuer à progresser.
How much
J'ai
is
hâte de
the penalty
l'évaluation.
kill how much would the penalty kill determine your final decisions in terms of a lineup?
How much? I don't know, but you know, it plays. You want to build a team. You want guys to have roles, you know, and so they feel part of something. So yeah, I mean, it plays with it, but I don't know how much.
Par rapport un peu à ça, l'évaluation, plus le temps avance, plus il y a de l'enseignement. Il y a ce qu'on voit sur la patinoire, mais toi, de ton côté, est-ce que tu es impressionné de voir l'assimilation de l'information, puis à quel point ça peut faire partie de votre évaluation, de savoir qu'il y en a qui l'assimilent plus
Exactement. Il faut que tu sois capable d'absorber et d'exécuter, ça c'est sûr. Puis je sais que c'est demandant. C'est pour ça que cette ligue-là n'est pas juste demandante physiquement, elle est demandante mentalement pour absorber l'information, mais aussi mentalement parce que c'est pas facile, c'est dur. Puis c'est d'essayer de contrôler ce que tu peux contrôler. Puis si on parle pas de toi, mais continue à faire des jeux. C'est continuer à te démarquer. Puis de ne pas t'arrêter à des choses que tu peux pas contrôler.
Justin Barron a gagné l'or au championnat du monde. C'est un tournoi que tu as déjà participé. L'été, il a la chance de s'entraîner avec de pas pires joueurs en Nouvelle-Écosse. Crosby, McKinnon, compagnie. Vois-tu déjà une belle amélioration dans le cas de Barron?
Bien, je suis sûr que je vois une progression, mais c'est de savoir que, je pense qu'on n'a pas assez d'informations encore, d'échantillons, de voir comment, en gros, il a progressé.
Je reviens sur tu as évoqué les face-offs dans la réponse sur Evans. Tu as beaucoup de centres cette année, mais pas beaucoup de spécialistes. De voir qui est blessé, Newhook, Doc, c'est pas leur force. Est-ce que les mises au jeu, c'est quelque chose sur lequel vous pensez vous voulez miser, mais travailler fort, justement?
Je pense qu'on a assez de spécialistes pareil. Suzy est bon, Monahan est bon, Jake est bon. C'est le fun au moins d'avoir un droitier et un gaucher qui sont capables, tu peux compter sur eux autres. Ça t'en prend pas 50.
Is there a hope in any of getting Nick maybe fewer minutes on the penalty kill in
Yes.
the past?
Yes. 100%.
On parle beaucoup de l'aspect physique du jeu depuis tantôt, mais globalement, quelle identité tu veux que ton club ait cette année?
Identité. Rapide, dur à jouer contre. Dans tous les départements, que ce soit physique, que ce soit intellectuellement, stratégiquement. Je vais être dur à jouer contre.
Puis est-ce que tes gars t'ont démontré jusqu'ici, après une semaine et demie de camp, ça te rassure à ce niveau-là?
C'est encourageant, les gars sont très engagés.
Même s'il n'a pas joué beaucoup, Jared Davidson, on dirait qu'il y a eu un impact à chacune de ses présentations.
Ouais. Non, puis tu sais, comme je m'excusais un peu durant le match parce qu'il y a eu tellement d'unités spéciaux, c'était pas facile pour le jeune, mais je peux te dire que moi, je parle tout le temps, là, tu sais, you gotta get on base. Tu sais, là, à chaque chiffre, il est allé sur le premier but. Chaque chiffre est allé au premier but. Non, honnêtement, là, tu parles de l'année passée durant le camp à cette année, une maudite belle progression pour le kid.
C'est-tu clair, Martin, que le groupe qu'on a vu avant et le groupe qui joue vendredi, puis l'autre groupe samedi, est-ce que...
Non, honnêtement, là, je pense pas.
C'est pas là, t'es pas là?
Je pense pas. Non, mais puis on a la liste qui joue demain, mais je pourrais même pas t'en nommer un présentement parce que c'est mélangeant des fois.
T'as encore trop de joueurs. Tu as changé Newhook de groupe aussi, là, je pense?
Oui. Ben, de groupe.
Ben, c'est parce que normalement, il était avec ceux qui auraient joué demain, tu sais, avec...
Honnêtement, là, je sais pas.
Il n'était pas avec Anderson ce matin, en fait.
Ah, OK.
Donc,
OK.
c'est pour ça qu'on se posait la question.
Oui. Vous mélangez, hein?
Oui.
Ouais, moi aussi, je suis mélangé un petit peu.
Beaucoup de baseball, moneyball, curveball.
Mais ceux qui patinaient à 10h30, parce que, grosso modo, c'est l'équipe. Non?
Non.
C'est bon.
OK, merci.
Merci, Martin.
Sorry, what did you see from Josh?